everyone. Welcome into this bonus episode here on the Across the Bifrost feed. We are getting together with some of our wrestling buddies from Discord and those of us that were former members of the Near Fall. May it forever rest in peace. We're getting together to talk about wrestling, everything that's really happened since Survivor Series went down and we got War Games. And there's been quite a few things that happened, and we're going to talk about most of them. We're going to bounce the ball around to my co-host with the most, Jason Luck, Ride or Die, been here since day one. He's actually the person that suggested we do this. So Jason, you get the first introduction, man. How are you feeling tonight? How are you feeling about wrestling since we talked about Survivor Series?
You know, wrestling's been great for the past month. Last night was a little bit of a long night, but I'm ready to talk about it.
Happened last night. Man, I can't. We'll probably talk about it. But with wrestling has been great. Yeah, I agree for the most part. Josh, what do you think, man? What has wrestling been like over the last month since we left Vancouver?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Jason. It's been a lot of fun. I still continue to find myself enjoying it. I had probably more than the average guy on the street level of excitement about last night. Whether or not it lived up to it, we will discuss. But yeah, it's been good.
We're all being very nice and very vague about the introduction of talking about Raw on Netflix. I appreciate it. Greg, do you want to burn it down right now, or are you just hyped to talk about wrestling with us? Because you specifically asked for this, man, and we're making it happen. It's like your Make-A-Wish.
Listen, you are my John Cena, okay? No, it has been cool because I love wrestling, but I'm a casual wrestling fan, and so when I was listening to the Near Fall, I'm always like, man, I want to hop in because I'm one of those listeners who's always like, oh, but what about this? And now I'm like, I gotta hop in. So man, I love wrestling. It's been fun, and this month's been a blast. So.
Well, we're so excited to have you, man, and we'll be sure to plug all of your stuff at the end because you've got stuff worth plugging with your comic interviews and all that. It's been a lot of fun just to kind of watch you build that over the last little bit and become friends with you on our Discord, which you can check out the link in the episode description, everybody. If you want to have a wrestling conversation, you want to be the next Greg, you can become that on Discord. The three of us all hang out there and we talk wrestling stuff. We kind of did almost like a live preview of Raw on Netflix. That was kind of fun to get hyped up. And then our buddy Josh Link jumped in and was like, I think Randy Savage will be there. It's like, okay, Josh, go back to the 90s, man. Snap into it. So guys, we're going to start off with kind of the first major wrestling event that happened after Survivor Series. And that was when WWE emanated live on NBC nationwide for Saturday night's main event. We had 5 matches on the card, and there was a lot to unpack here in terms of matches, but it has been a little while, so I'm just gonna read the matches, and if you could just tell me something that jumped out to you from the show. I think that would be a good way to bat the ball around here. So we opened up the card with Drew McIntyre defeating Sami Zayn in a little over 10 minutes. Straight up singles match. Drew has really just been on this tear of beating up anybody that in his mind forgave Roman way too easily. And then we had a women's world title match where Liv Morgan successfully defended her title against Jay Patty's one of Jay Patty's favorite wrestlers. It's funny, this was really the Jay Patty title match when it comes to the women's division because Liv Morgan faced off with Io Sky in a little over 9 minutes, and she successfully defended that title. Then we jumped over to the world title match in a triple threat. Gunther defeating Damian Priest and Finn Balor, a little over 11 minutes. And Gunther has scarcely been seen since, so I'm sure we're going to talk about him as well. Then we got the United States title final for the women's new mid-card belt. Chelsea Green defeating Mi Chin in that tournament final. Chelsea is a big fan favorite of us here on the show, so I'm sure we've got a little bit of attention to throw her way. Then we ended with the undisputed world title match. Cody Rhodes defeating Kevin Owens in a little over 12 minutes. So, Josh, let's start with you, man. What was a takeaway from Saturday night's main event? And then we'll just throw it around.
Yeah, I think one of my biggest takeaways is that Io Sky lasted a lot longer with Liv Morgan than I would have at 9 minutes. Um,
How do
I
you
think
mean that, man?
Liv is just a great wrestler. She would have kicked my ass much faster than that. So
Okay.
that's what I was getting at. Yeah. No, but in all seriousness, um, one of the things that I've noticed recently is WWE's been doing a much better job of presentation recently. Like they've upped their game. And
Yeah.
I thought just the actual presentation of Saturday Night Main Event was fantastic. It had all the wonders of modern technology, but used to kind of give that throwback style that felt very authentic
Yeah.
to the time frame of Saturday Night Live or Saturday Night Main Event, these kind of things. So I really enjoyed that. Um, I thought the show was fine. I mean, I think all the matches probably went the way that all of us expected them to go.
Yeah.
The most exciting thing probably happened after it went off air, when KO kind of turned on Rhodes. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. Um, let's see, favorite match. I mean, I think the Rhodes and Owens match was fantastic. I did enjoy, in all seriousness, the Liv and Io Sky match. Um, because they're fun to watch. Io Sky was wonderful in that match, but um,
I think they
yeah, I'm just
both did like
start
because they're
rambling, but
similar size, they were able to
mm,
like actually have like an even match. Whereas like Liv's often been like she's been in the sight of Rhea Ripley, and usually in those matches she gets ragdolled. So
hmm
Io really being able to match her on the size was a lot of fun. I went back and watched the highlights of that match, and I was like, yeah, this was pretty good. I enjoyed this. Jason, what was your takeaway? What was your highlight of Saturday night's main event?
I loved the packaging and the way they made the event seem like a really big deal, going to be live on NBC. They put a lot of top quality matches out there, but then kind of in my mind in WWE style, they kind of gave you a really nice shiny package, and you open it up and it was a little lackluster. None of
Okay,
the matches, they didn't really give you any long matches. These were all like very much raw
sub 12
TV
minutes.
matches. And yep. And then in the traditional fashion of kind of a non Big Four PLE, nothing really happened. Like Josh
Yeah,
said, the biggest happening, I mean, you knew somebody had to win that new mid card women's belt, and we are glad it's Chelsea. We
glad it's
think she's
Chelsea.
been underappreciated for far too long. She gets that SmackDown R Truth Award. But the biggest happening, like Josh said, coming out of the show was the KO attack of Cody after the match, but that was all done off air.
Yeah,
So you had to
true.
kind of you have to be into the WWE's weeds of following social media or reading about what goes on. You got to be in the webs.
Yeah,
I guess that's working for them because it does draw attention to their other ways of getting their product.
yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
um, I want, I wanted more out of the show.
I think that's fair because, like you said, there were big four pay-per-view level matches on this card. Greg, what did you think about Saturday night's main event being live on NBC? It's got a bigger imprint. If you're a fan of, traditional mainstream channels, and this was kind of like the big lead-in show for the Raw on Netflix. So they're also hyping that up. What did you think of Saturday night's main event?
I don't think there's too much I would add that the others haven't talked about. I really did appreciate how they presented it, trying to give it the old school vibe. The referee outfits, even changing that up to go like the to bring it back. And when they brought in characters like Jesse Ventura, doing commentary and stuff like that, those
Yes.
are moments like that. Like that's how I want to utilize old school wrestlers a little bit more sometimes moving forward in production. We can talk about some others that are used in some other events later that
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
don't,
yeah.
which I'm like, it just doesn't work as well for me. But again, I think everything that they've talked, no match like stood out like I was blown away. And I don't know if it's that it's been a month before and we've, since we've seen it and there's a lot more others, or it was just
Right.
a or I think it was just it was a fine card, like we've talked about, that kind of has led the way because they knew what they were trying to get to with the Netflix kickoff, that they were going to say, like, let's just make this a solid event to kind of end the year. And
Yeah.
rather than where AEW is going big at the end of, January, they're like, at end of December, they're like, we're going to go big at January, beginning of that. So I think it kind of toned it down a little bit because they were putting all their eggs in the basket for Netflix.
I think that's a fair point, and I want to go. But you mentioned his name real quick there. Jesse Ventura
Mhm.
being kind of the old school little like special guest of the night. I didn't really know we were going to get Jesse on the mic during a match,
Right.
which I thought that was awesome. Like putting him in that a little spotlight. I thought he played off Corey Graves really well. I thought their back and forth was a lot of fun. And I think if you were to throw, like you said, Greg, a legend in this role every once in a while, like I think that could be refreshing. I think that could be nostalgic in a good way, in a fresh way. Also, Jesse's not really someone we've seen a lot of in WWE over the last few decades. So I think he automatically feels fresh because we haven't seen him a bunch. So there's been really no reason to be tired of him. And so I really enjoyed Jesse. Jason, Josh, did you have any thoughts on Jesse Ventura showing up, or was it just, kind of like, okay, cool?
No, I was glad he was there because that's a voice for my youth. I mean, I don't know how old Greg is, but I'm older than you two. And I was watching the old Saturday Night main events. I was staying up past my bedtime, and that's a voice we were used to. I think the reason he hasn't been around is him and Vince weren't really seeing eye to eye. So now that
True.
the old man's gone, you bring Jesse back in, and it's a nice it's like a comfort food. You hear that
Yeah,
voice,
I
and
agree.
he was one of the best heel announcers. Uh, you get Jesse Ventura and you get Bobby Heenan. You
That,
kind of coin flip who was a better heel announcer, but they
I mean, truly.
almost see everything through gray colored glasses. So I've always been a big fan.
Josh, did you have any impression of Jesse showing up, doing a little bit of a shtick, doing his shtick during a match and on that little stand up thing he did with Joe Tessitore?
Nah, I mean, I think you guys covered it. It's
Okay,
well
cool,
done.
cool. When you've got three extra guest hosts, we're going to find some common ground at least, and I do love that. So, Greg, I wanted to throw back to you real quick. In between our next event, between Saturday night's main event and AEW's World's End pay-per-view, you were able to go see AEW live.
I
And
was.
it was, correct me if I'm wrong, but it was your first time seeing AEW live?
Yeah, it was my first time seeing AEW live. So
Okay.
it was cool. So it was a weird vibe too because it was at a Comic Con, right? And like so it's in a convention center. They had everything curtained off the whole time. And but it looks very much like you would see on a AEW stream, Collision and stuff like that. But it was smaller. So it was because they didn't have the raised seating. It was all
Yeah.
floor level seats. And so it was a very intimate vibe, which was unique. But man, being a couple rows from that, you get hooked in right away. And some of the matches that were there, it was some phenomenal work.
Now there's just a few more things I want to talk to you about your experience with AEW
Yeah,
that weekend, but I understand you had some guidance, you had some mentorship going into that event, and I just want to know, is there anybody specifically you want to shout out for helping you introduce you into the world
absolutely.
of
It
AEW?
was Jason because I was in our Discord. I'm like, guys, I'm going to AEW. This is not something I've dipped my toe into yet. And Jason's like, well, let me
Funny
educate
you
you.
ask.
He took my hand and just guided me along on my AEW journey, and I'm hooked. So kudos to you, Jason.
Jason, what did you tell Greg that got him so hooked on this product you've been in love with for years?
Well, that was a collision, right, Greg?
Mhm. Yep.
So it was a
It
televised
was a
show you
Saturday
went and
night
saw.
show.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Uh, um, the thing I went and did was looked at the card because the difference, I think the biggest difference between the AEW and either of the WWE shows, if you go to Raw or if you go to SmackDown, you know you're going to see these 10 to 12 to 15 people. If you go to an AEW show, you could see any of 40 to 60 different people. They kind of get booked
True.
in a circular motion. There's a lot of people that get used more than others. To go find the card, and then I just kind of gave him a breakdown of, okay, this is what these guys are currently up to. This is why this matching. I just tried to give him a good rundown. I think he saw Kyle Fletcher.
Oh,
I believe Swerve was there.
So yeah, Kyle Fletcher.
Greg can probably
There
tell
was a
us about
Darby
some
Allin
of what he
Commander
saw.
match.
But what was your favorite? Oh yes,
My favorite match.
what was your favorite match you saw that night?
Oh, it was easily Darby Allin and Commander. It was they opened AEW opened up that night with them, and they went all out, and it was fantastic. That was when I think, like maybe I'm a sucker, but I think that was like Darby really hurt himself that night because like he threw himself off the ring into a chair that Commander was supposed to be at, and Commander jumped out of the way, and dude was holding his side the entire time, like his hip, and it was during commercial breaks and off. Like he was moving very slow after that. I'm
I'm
like, man, you
convinced that
sacrifice
Darby
your
doesn't
body
sell
for
a
that.
lot. It's just ow! I almost broke my shit.
Yes.
One last thing.
That is Darby Allin in a nutshell.
I
And
mean,
that's what you told me, and I was like, I was so stoked for it.
a few dynamites ago, he got thrown down a freaking flight of stairs, and he took every step on the way down. Uh, one last question about that weekend, Greg. You did get to interview Swerve Strickland.
I did.
What was that like?
So it was kind of cool. So the way, because I was doing press for the Comic-Con, and the company basically brought a couple celebrities out. So they brought Martin Cove, they brought Swerve Strickland, they brought Corbin Benson from Major League, and a couple others. And
Great
like
movie.
they just put us all the press into a one of the conference rooms, and we're like, go for it. You can ask, like, this is your chance. Like, because a lot of times at cons, celebrities are so busy signing and getting to the fans that like you don't have a chance for interviews.
Right.
So it was kind of cool to do that. And I was standing there getting ready for my interview with Martin Cove, and a guy who was basically being the handler for Swerve at the event came up. He's like, "Hey, do you want to talk to AEW Swerve Strickland?" I was like, "Heck yeah." And I was like, "Thank you, Jason, for prepping me for this." And so we kind of just went, though completely different from talking wrestling. And I went from the comic book route because AEW had just partnered with DC to do the AEW DC 2-page specials in the back. And so I kind of talked about what was that like being in a comic book and seeing that. And he talked about how his whole presence of being his main entrances on all these pay-per-views, he gets inspired by pop culture. Like a prime example, I'm standing there talking to him, and he's in this massive like tan fur coat, like he's Craven the Hunter, and he's just about to go kill Spider-Man like I felt bad for any Spider-Man cosplay because I'm like, man, Swerve's gonna come hunt you down.
Like
Swerve the
he is
Hunter here,
fucking
like
coming for you.
he's coming, like. And so like it was cool to just kind of talk about how much of a nerd he is and how much like comic books and Batman and stuff like that influence him, and how it influences what he does and what kind of costumes he decides that he's going to use for the pay-per-views and stuff like that. So
That's awesome. I love it. I remember you shared a picture or a video of something of you next to him. I was like, well, that happened. Greg's king big shit out here now, just interviewing Swerve. Whose house is it? Apparently it's Greg's house.
It's my house now. I took it.
Apparently.
I took it. Swerve owes me rent.
Swerve owes me rent. Yes. Jason, our next event is AEW. Their last pay-per-view outing was World's End. And I'm really high on parts of this pay-per-view, but I would love for you to maybe just give people a little bit of a rundown of what happened at AEW's last pay-per-view.
This pay-per-view we were leading into it from the Continental Classic that always starts after Full Gear, or
Yes.
second year, so always. But a big part of the show was the semifinals and the finals of the Continental Classic, which if you like tournament wrestling, round robin type stuff.
Whew.
Was fantastic. I'm going to talk more about that with a match later.
Yeah.
You saw the semifinals was Ricochet versus Kazuchika Okada, who went into this tournament as the Continental Champion. He was putting his championship on the line basically against 11 other men. Whoever wins this tournament gets the belt. Then in the other side, you had the champ of the other block was Kyle Fletcher in a rematch with Will Ospreay, which was I didn't think they could top their match from a month ago at Full Gear, but they damn well tried.
Boy, howdy.
And yeah, you had Okada defeating Ricochet, and Ricochet getting involved with has kind of been building a feud with Swerve, kind of heel turning at the same time.
Yeah.
And so that led to the finals were Okada versus Will Ospreay,
Yes.
a classic New Japan style match. I'd argue maybe Okada's best match since he joined AEW. He had a really good burner in the early summer against Pac,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
he's been a lot of AEW fans think he's been a little underwhelming so far. He was not on this night, and he
Not
ended up
even-
getting
yeah.
the win over Ospreay and retaining his Continental title. And my other big points of this show was the Mercedes Moné Chris Statlander match.
Yes.
This was their second time facing. They had faced off at Full Gear also. Another great Monet match. She's kind of another wrestler who's some would say is underwhelmed since she's come to AEW, but here lately she's really turned it on. And then in AEW, everything kind of revolves around the heavyweight title. And you had John Moxley defeating Orange Cassidy, Hangman Adam Page, and Jay White in a four-way to retain his title.
Okay.
Where we saw after the match, FTR came out because they've been mixing it up with the Death Riders and a returning Adam Copeland, to set up. I think we're leading into a Moxley Copeland feud. So that's where we're
Josh,
headed in AEW here in the
for
in the near
you,
future.
Edge came back at the end of this pay-per-view. I'm just letting you know.
Yeah.
Legend.
Ledge and Mr. Adam Copeland. Josh, I know you're hit and miss on AEW stuff. Were you able to check out any of World's End, or do we just need to let Greg gush and gush about his newfound wonderment with AEW?
Well, we can let Greg gush and gush, but I'll say this. Because I pay attention to results and those kind of things. I was excited that the new rookie Tony Storm had a match.
Complete
She won.
unknown.
Yeah, completely unknown, new to AEW. She's doing great. I'm quite fond of Tony Storm. And yeah, I was happy to see Cope, formerly Adam Copeland, formerly Edge, return.
Formerly
'Cause,
Sexton Hardcastle. Yeah.
as you all know, I'm a huge Edge fan. So Edge is a cooler name than Cope, but yeah, we'll let Greg get on with the gushing.
Greg, commence to gush. What was your favorite part? That was inappropriate. Sorry, we gotta scratch that from the record. Oh, we're gonna edit that. Oh,
Great success.
Greg's people don't like that. Okay, well, Greg, what was the most exciting part for you of World's End? What did you feel was the most noteworthy for you?
I mean, it was the Ospreay Fletcher match for me. Like that was I was captivated by it. It was high flying, blood flying everywhere. Like it was one of those, because I'm still at the stage of like, I feel like as much as I love AEW, I'm still going to be dipping my toe here or there. Just because I can't pay for pay-per-view, right? Like, so I'm like, I gotta wait.
I get it.
I got to catch it when I can. And so I was watching the highlights of at World's End, and that was a match where I'm like, I have to see this in its glory. So I like went to scour to find a way to see it somehow on the interwebs, and it did not disappoint at all. And then of course, getting to see, just Ricochet was my favorite character, one of my favorite wrestlers at WWE.
Okay.
And so to see kind of him and how I feel like AEW is finding a way to actually utilize him, which he just kind of was a placeholder. I feel like for a lot of matches in WWE, and so I'm
Yeah.
really excited to see like AEW hopefully is going, hey, we have some real talent here, because I think Ricochet is a phenomenal talent, and to see what they can do with actually building some storylines that are going to be engaging, and you're either going to love them or hate them, but I
Yeah.
think that's what's going to help craft him into a name that is a lot more household than he was with WWE.
Well, and plus, Greg, Ricochet's got it out for your new best friend, Swerve Strickland. That
I
you've got like that's got to pull on your emotional heartstrings. Be like, listen up, you spectacled wearing, scissor wielding motherfucker.
you know,
You're gonna
and but
back off, Swerve.
he's
He's paying
but
rent.
I gotta be honest. I was a little upset with Swerve. He's in my house and he's wasting that toilet paper. Like, toilet paper's not cheap. Like, okay, remember 2020
Toilet
Swerve?
paper's
Like,
not
come on.
cheap.
Like, and he's just wasting it there. Like, it's not his house right now.
It's not his house right now. Greg is a benevolent landlord, but you gotta pay up.
Yeah, don't waste
Um,
my TP.
Where's my TP? So I will say this later on when we talk about our favorite matches of the month. I am going to pick a match off this card, but which match we will not know. Jason, there's one part of this pay-per-view we haven't really talked about that I do feel is noteworthy. It's the return of Kenny Omega. So what did you think of Kenny Omega's return? I know we've gotten several returns in the past year. He's been kind of in and out. He had one like real major run as champ, but we haven't seen Kenny in a long time. So what do you think about his return this time, and what are your hopes for him in the immediate future?
Well, at this point, at World's End, he came back. Uh, Christopher Daniels kind of stepped back and said, "Hey, I'm not an EVP anymore. The guy I was placeholding for has got a spot back." So he came down, presented Okada with the Continental title after he defeated Will Ospreay, and then you got those subtle hints of the two men standing there with all of their past
Yeah,
kind of lingering in that picture, and they show it in the backdrop. They put the video screen up of All In, which is going to be in July in Texas. So without saying those two are going to face off in July, those two are
yeah,
going to face off in July.
yeah.
What you do with Kenny up until that point, I don't know. I don't know how you slow burn that for 6 months.
It's a long
Um,
time.
and I didn't know how I knew Kenny was going to be wrestling at New Japan this past weekend. I didn't know he'd come back and be the 7-star best bout machine, because him and Gabe Kidd put on a burner of a match. And you talked about Osprey bleeding buckets. Kenny Omega said, "Hold my beer, watch this," and he
You
bled
you call that
buckets.
blood?
He made a star out of Gabe Kidd. I think New Japan's got a superstar going forward because of this Kenny Omega match.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm very interested to see how they weave him back into storylines, how they kind of push pull with not giving you too much of him, holding him back a little bit, because we're gonna build to this Okada match 6 months from now. So I
Yeah.
don't know what you do with him until then.
And I think that is one thing. AEW did have a presence at New Japan Pro Wrestling's annual early January show, Wrestle Kingdom, and then the next day they did something called Wrestle Dynasty, which was a cross-promoted show with a few different promotions. And there were a lot of good matches on those cards. But if you're gonna go watch one match, watch Kenny Omega and Gabe Kidd. It was
Yep,
gnarly. Like it was if Kenny Omega had any ring rust, he knocked it off real fast.
real
And
quick.
he was awesome. Hopefully back to being the best bout machine that we remember from 4 or 5 years ago. So Jason, before we leave the land of AEW, we need to talk about one other development that happened in All Elite over the last few months, and it was finding a streaming home on HBO's platform Max. So can you kind of talk a little bit about how that like how did that come to be, and also like what does Max have? What are we getting on Max when it comes to AEW?
Oh, real quick before I get into any of that,
Yeah.
I spent the Christmas week vacation in Texas,
Okay.
and some of my extended family, they do a thing called Cuban Christmas, pulled
Okay.
pork, empanadas, all kinds of
Oh,
really good Cuban food. We do a bunch of whiskey sharing. Well, when we showed up and I walk in the door, my extended cousins, Jason, Olivia, and Vivian Gattell, said, "Hey, when's the next episode of the podcast? We've been listening. We
Oh,
love it." So, it takes a lot to make this guy blush, but I loved hearing that. So I wanted to
oh,
give him a shout out on the show.
well, yeah. What were their names, Jason?
Jason, Olivia, and Vivian.
Jason, Olivia, and Vivian. Thank you very much for making Jason blush. I didn't know it was possible, but now I know. I know the impossible is totally possible.
And they're pretty stoked. They live in San Antonio, Texas, so
Oh,
they're all going to the next Saturday night's main event show.
well,
They went to the Rumble last year. They're pretty big wrestling fans.
oh man. I don't know about you guys, but Rumble is on my bucket list, and getting to
Yeah,
go to
I'd
the
love to see a
Rumble.
Rumble.
It's only 3 hours away from me, Ryan.
Okay, Greg, we get it. We understand that you're rubbing it in a little much. We need to go. We need to go to a Royal Rumble. Everyone needs to go to a Royal Rumble. I've
Oh,
never even actually been to a pay-per-view.
Well, let's
I
Um,
all
say
go to
the four of
Saudi
us.
Arabia
I was
next
gonna
year.
say, let's go to Saudi.
Josh,
Yeah.
a perfectly financially feasible plan.
That's got to be a
I
cheap
Oh
trip.
yeah, of course. I'm
yeah, right,
so loaded.
right. I love it. Jason, do you have anything you can just tell us about, AEW on Max and what we can expect from that streaming home?
Yeah, I try to keep up on the backstage AEW news. So I knew when they were shopping this new TV deal, a big part of it was going to be the streaming. And when they signed the new deal with TNT, TBS, Max, a huge part of it was that starting January 1st, which was this past Wednesday, they went live simulcast. It's still going to be a TBS TNT product for Dynamite and Collision, but it'll also be live at the same time on Max, which I was really ecstatic about because I've had a satellite for the past 4 years that I really only keep paying to watch AEW on.
Yeah.
Almost anything else me and my family watches, we watch on streaming services.
Okay.
So this Max, that was huge for me. It's going to save me $130 a month.
Damn.
Um, Another big part of that was not yet, but eventually the pay-per-views are going to be available on Max at a discounted price. I don't know what that means.
Okay.
I don't know how much cheaper they're going to be. It seems like it's going to be kind of on like that ESPN Plus model where you have a subscription to ESPN Plus, and then like for the UFC pay-per-views, you pay extra, but you get to
Okay.
watch the pay-per-views.
Okay.
Um,
Fair enough.
as far as the simulcast goes, we've had 2 episodes now. Last week's Dynamite and Collision. The picture has been fantastic. They're still giving you ads, so they're still selling ad money, but they kind of changed some of their camera angles and stuff. The main thing is the hard cam from the side of the ring. Instead of being almost like a ground shot, it's more of a like third or fourth row up from the crowd shot, so you're almost seeing straight into the ring. I thought it
Okay.
was a really unique viewpoint, and I thought it was something they were doing every once in a while. It's actually became their main shot, and I actually liked it a lot.
Oh, nice. I love when companies try and just like tweak a little bit of the presentation. I mean, we're about to talk about a huge change in presentation.
Mm-hmm.
But I like when you actually can sense that a wrestling show is being directed, and it's not just like, oh, we set up three cameras and we just keep switching between three cameras. I love that little nuanced detail, Jason. Um, Anything else AEW related, because we're about to launch into what is probably the hottest topic in wrestling since Survivor Series. Any other AEW related thing, Jason, we need to talk about?
I think we're good, man.
Okay. We are going to talk about one upcoming show that they have in the next few weeks that I'm personally pretty hyped about towards the end of the show. So let's jump into WWE Raw's debut on Netflix. This show I mean, to say it was hyped would be an incredible understatement. Marketing and promotion for this was everywhere. Not just on Netflix. and their homepage. I mean, it was all over. Social media ads. WWE promoted it like crazy in its own programming, which makes total sense. And pretty much SmackDown last Friday was kind of a lead-in show because we were promoting a few of our big storylines going into that, ending with a pretty substantial Solo and Paul Heyman promo, which was very good, and then we ended with a six-man tag that was kind of like a Bloodline versus Timu Bloodline All-Star match. But we started off with a fantastic video package talking really about the storytelling of wrestling, and I absolutely couldn't have loved that more. We got Triple H giving like kind of a general introduction to the show, and then right away we got off to the not so surprising surprises, and The Rock came out, and The Rock cut a promo for a little while. And he talked a lot about, his culture. He talked a lot about Netflix. He talked about Cody Rhodes, who was conveniently just he bought a ticket. He was just sitting in the front row right there. He talked about Netflix a little more, and then we got a few of the classic little rockisms. Talked about Netflix a little more, and then he said he's going to be watching the Tribal Combat match, which got going right after that. We saw Solo and Roman get introduced, and they just went right to it. They used their time. They beat the crap out of each other. We got some interferences, which we've come to expect from no disqualification matches. We had Jacob Fatu and Tamatanga get involved, which brought out Jimmy Uso and Sami Zayn. And then all of a sudden, Kevin Owens out of nowhere hits a stunner on Roman. And I was like, well, shit, I can honestly say I didn't expect that to happen. And then Cody comes out. He was like, hit my music. And he goes out and runs KO off. And we get that leading into the finish where Roman spears Solo, pins him. And then without music, here comes Rock, slowly sauntering to the ring. And he tells Paul Heyman, hey, I'm going to present Roman with the Ulafala. And he puts the Ulafala around his neck. Roman throws that one up in the air. Rock helps him out of the ring very nicely by splitting the ring ropes for him. And then we were done. That was the end of our first hour. So guys, let's talk let's break this one up into pieces because it is so fresh and there was a lot on this show. Josh, what were your first impressions of this opening hour? This, we get an introduction from Triple H, we get Rocky out there, we get Roman and Solo in this tribal combat match, and then we get the post match from them. What kind of your thoughts about this section of the show?
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of what I expected from WWE. A lot of fluff, a lot of pomp and circumstance, a lot of
Oh
hooray,
yeah.
look at us, kind of thing, which was fun. I mean, they're celebrating a massive accomplishment and, kind of a groundbreaking thing. Um, so it was neat, but I mean, I enjoyed the Solo Roman match a lot. I thought the KO bit was a nice touch. Like you said, I did not expect that.
Didn't expect it.
Yeah, not at all. Yeah, and I mean the because like you said, there was going to be some kind of tomfoolery in what is it, tribal rules, and
Tribal
you can just
combat.
yeah, tribal combat. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
um, yeah, it was fun. It was a good match. There were some fun spots. The Solo through the table. He's one of my favorite people to watch go through a table because he sells like the lead up to going through the table so much where he's just like
Okay.
almost to the point where it's comical. He's like flails his arms and is like, oh, like always. Like watch Solo go through a table. It's never not funny. Like it's just ridiculous. So
Oh my gosh, that's great.
I appreciate that about him. Um, yeah, dude. It not a lot of wrestling in the first hour.
Well, yeah.
Uh,
So, Greg, quick follow-up question. Then we'll throw it to Jason for his thoughts on the first hour. But do you prefer wrestling in your wrestling show? If not, how did you enjoy kind of the first hour of Raw on Netflix with Rock and Roman and Solo and Lions and Tigers and Bears on my?
Yes and no. I mean, I
Okay.
love wrestling in my wrestling show, obviously. but I do think it's so much about wrestling. What makes it special is the comic book feel of storytelling of it, right? You have these massive, larger than life people in spandex fighting.
True.
And so, like, the story element needs to be there. I don't necessarily need 8 hours of promo and 20 minutes of wrestling. Like, and I think they'll clean that up later
Yeah,
as it
right.
going on. It's obviously a big night. So I thought Rock's promo was great from like hitting like because I think leading up to the Netflix, everything was everyone the last sporting event we really watched. I mean, yeah, we watched football on it, but it was the Mike Tyson fight, right? And it was all the streaming issues, and people were, and Rock kind of even hinted at that. He's like, if I'm glitching here, I'm coming up to whoop you guys like to the exact
Squid Game on your ass.
right. Like I'm glad that that got acknowledged and that then there wasn't issues and they can move on. And I think to have The Rock do it is the only way you can do that and get away with it because who's going to say no to The Rock?
Probably nobody. I think it was very clear that no one said no to The Rock on this night. Uh, Jason, first hour, we get a lot of kind of the elements we were expecting, hyped for. Did you feel like they delivered in this first hour? What was your impression of it?
I loved the presentation of the arena. That arena seems top
Absolutely.
notch. I love the new video board where it sits down lower, almost like some of the stuff they've done at pay-per-views, where you're
True.
not losing one end of the venue. You could see there were people all up behind it, which leads
Absolutely.
to them having the largest arena gate in the history of WWE. I
Yeah.
don't know why any fan would rejoice at being charged more for their tickets than any previous show. It always seems
Was a
something
funny applause.
silly that, yeah, like WB hypes that so often, and you're like, okay, you guys are happy that you've contributed more and more and more into this cash grab. But as far as the match of the first hour goes, I loved the Kevin Owens interference because I kind of told you guys before the match. I said my big happening for this match is I think Solo's got to win
Yeah.
to kind of make Solo important again. We've talked so often about the losses to Cody, the loss of the Timu bloodline in Survivor Series Cage, the War Games match. I said if you're going to do something with Solo, you got to do it now. When KO came in and gave Roman the stunner, I thought that was it. I bit hard. I haven't bit that hard on the
I
finish in a
bit
long
hard.
time. And
You were like, reel
you
me
know,
in, daddy. You got
just
me
to
bit
see them
hard.
go through with it not actually happening, kind of broke my heart. But it got me. So at
Yeah.
least they tried. But you know, from my viewpoint now, you might as well send Solo back to NXT because he's damaged goods.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, I think there's a lot of truth in what you guys said. I will, Josh has gotten the brunt of my rock takes, so I will spare the internet one more angry white guy. I was like, I won't lie, guys. I love the final boss. I love, I truly, truly love what Rock, Cody, and Roman built on that road to WrestleMania. Like it was some of the best television I've watched in a long time. And I won't lie, I was disappointed. And that's on me for going into expectations that,
No,
well,
no.
let me say
I
this.
think a lot of people feel the way you feel. Like
Yeah,
it seems like they undid a year's worth of stuff last night.
and Jason had a very good clarification in our little group chat last night as we were essentially live tweeting the show to each other, which by the way, watching wrestling live with Josh and Jason in a group text is one of the highlights of my wrestling calendar. Anytime the three of us are watching the same thing live, it brings me so much joy. But one of the things Jason clarified was that like Rock was not a for sure thing for Mania. And I get that. Like I totally get it. Busy guy, Moana reshoots, all that stuff. But did you have to shit all over the best storyline of 2024 by hand waving Cody and then like I don't know, just being totally cool with Roman. I mean, this is literally a guy that made Cody bleed buckets in a parking lot and said, you know, I'm gonna basically send your dead body to your mom. And I was like, yeah, that rock is compelling. That rock, I mean, that rock, give that rock an Oscar. Not the one from Red One, not the one from Moana 2, not the one from the live action Moana. Give the final boss his Oscar now. But I was disappointed by The Rock, mostly because I told Josh this earlier. I want more Rock. I don't want less Rock on my TV. I actually want more of him. I like but I did not have this at this point in the show. I did not have the feeling of like, oh, we're victory lapping, and you know we're just like it's just like a Legends night. I didn't have that thought yet, but this is where it kind of crept in because I was like, okay, I really enjoyed Solo and Roman. I enjoy Roman. Period. We've talked about how much Roman means to WWE and how much he is a legitimate, bona fide superstar. The KO interference was fantastic because I didn't see it coming. And I loved so much about the match. I was just disappointed with the Rock of it all. How like he left the arena with hugs and was like, yeah, it was whatever. And I get it. Dwayne Johnson showed up to Netflix. The final boss did not. So I need to get over that and we need to move forward. But let's
Well, do
jump
you
into
do you
that
real quick?
little. Oh, yeah, Greg, go ahead.
Do you think though that Dwayne Johnson showed up and not the final boss because this was such more of a universal thing? I mean, I had people texting me
Probably.
that weren't typically watching wrestling that if they show up and see final boss Rock might not understand what's going on. Do you like?
But I think to quick counterpoint that,
Yeah,
Greg,
yeah,
I think then that's on The Rock as a character, that's on the production being prepared, that's on WWE telling a story that is more intriguing.
yeah.
It because here's the thing, the final boss is intriguing. Him they kept calling him the High Chief. They kept calling him and kind of coming back around to like, oh well, here's his High Chief name, and I was like, oh, are we gonna get to the end of this match and Rock's gonna like go to present the Ulafala and he's just gonna put it on himself? Like I won't lie, guys, I would have flown through the ceiling if he would have done that. That would have been the only thing we were talking about tonight if that's what would have happened. But then like he just put it on there, and I was like, oh, but now he's gonna stab him in the back, and he's gonna like hit him with the people's elbow or something like that, or the rock bottom. Nope, didn't get that. So I just kind of like felt like to borrow Josh Patterson's one of his favorite wrestlers' names. I felt like we were pro wrestling edging at the end of this segment. It was like, oh nope, nope, I guess not. Oh, maybe now. Oh gosh, now I'm just frustrated. Like, so I don't know. I don't know, Greg. I should probably stop the train before I go off the rails. I made Josh a promise, and a promise I will keep. Any final thoughts on this segment of the show? Because we'll hit hours 2 and 3. Nope. Okay. So we then got into our women's title match, which was Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley finally blowing off their feud that has lasted the better part of this entire year. Liv Morgan is arguably the MVP of Raw and maybe well definitely the whole women's division. But they put in a solid effort. I really loved what they put together. Maybe this match should have happened a few weeks ago, months ago, whatever, but I feel like they did what this spot needed. And then at the end of the match, we see Rhea Ripley win. She hits the Eradicator. I mean, Liv is lucky to be in one piece after how many times she hit that. It felt like she had a little extra stank on it, Jason. And then she hit the Eradicator. She hit her big finishing move on Dom to end the little like in ring part of it. And then she gets up to the ramp, and we hear a very familiar Limp Bizkit theme song, and the words "American Badass" go up over the video boards, and we're like, okay, is Undertaker going to challenge Rhea for the women's title at WrestleMania? Everyone was thinking it. Everyone was thinking it. And he rides out on the motorcycle, comes back around, and they do like a little celebration. I love that Rhea looked to the camera and she's like, "I didn't expect that." And it was a fun little moment. Did it make sense that the Undertaker was there for her? No. But was it fun? Sure. Jason, what do you think about the women's title match and then some of the post-match shenanigans?
I was actually impressed that I felt like they were going to do the same old thing. We had seen so much interference in the match prior. I figured, okay, with Dom out there, with Raquel out there, you would have maybe Damian Priest come out and take care of Dom or this or that. And then even I kind of got this thought of once I heard Undertaker's music hit after everything was done, I felt like, if this had been one of those Vince McMahon led Raw Legends nights, Taker would have come out after the match and taken care of Dom
Yeah,
for
yeah.
Rhea. But that was a something that we've talked about, like a Dom versus Rhea match would be
We were
like
all in
buckets
on
of
that.
money. Yes. So I think Rhea needed to handle that herself.
Oh, for sure.
Um, the Taker stuff didn't exactly fit. I didn't think he was going to come out and challenge her for the belt, but maybe he was going to come out there and say,
That was just me
Rhea
then. Okay.
Ripley, you got to give a match for the title to Michelle McCool. And, you know, it was just, it was the second step on the night of Triple H kind of falling back into Vince McMahon's steps of this is
Yeah,
a big night. We're just going to shoehorn as many legends as we possibly can into the night.
yeah.
It
I,
didn't fit, but it was cool.
yeah, that honestly that moment right there, Jason, to piggyback off that real quick, then I'll throw to Greg for your thoughts, man. Was it this is when I started to feel like anyone else feel like this is a Vince McMahon Raw? Anyone else feel like this is like old school Raw, and we're gonna show like Ted DiBiase in the back, or we're gonna show Jimmy Hart 1,000 times? Like like that's when it started to kind of creep. Like it was that like slow dread of like, oh my gosh, this does not feel like a Triple H Raw. But Greg, what did you think about the women's title match and the
It was
post match shenanigans?
it was fun. It was what you wanted, I think, in the match. It goes down to it was the same thing with me with the previous match. I expected interference, but I didn't want interference to be the reason someone won or lost.
Okay,
Like I just I feel like that gets utilized way too often, and like to keep the story going on and on. And I think this needed to have its closure. And so at least this part of the story, right, of
right.
Rhea getting it back and stuff. Uh you know, the Undertaker stuff was unique to me. I guess Undertaker was at the first Raw, so like they had to find a way to shoehorn him in. They said, like, it sounds like so. I mean, it makes sense. I was disappointed that Rhea didn't hop on the motorcycle. Like, if she hopped on the bike and then went up the ramp with Taker, like, I feel like he kept looking at her like, hey, are you gonna hop on? And she's looking like, can I hop on? And then they just stood there, like, and they just showed this like awkward, like
Yeah,
looking
yeah,
up at
yeah.
her shoulder, like at like, and they're both like, I was like, man, what a missed opportunity. And I don't want to harp on that too much because who am I? Like, I'm that fan is like, you didn't tell the story I wanted to hear, so I'm gonna be mad at you. But
Hey, we
it
don't do that in comics and wrestling all the time. What?
it 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 was cool to see, but
Yeah.
it was the beginning of, oh, we are gonna just get all these, you know, legends shoehorned in. And if I'm gonna be nitpicky though, I'd rather them there than in the ring sometimes.
Oh,
Because
I think that's fair. That's fair. Um,
like you had that with main event, like they showed Ventura, right, and they showed some of the other people Saturday main event in the crowd, and that brought stuff. And but like, you had your AEW with your Jeff Jarrett match and stuff where I'm like,
oh, you're coming for the last outlaw, Greg. Wow, interesting.
I'm just saying there is
Yeah,
a
no,
time to ride off into the sunset. And it probably was a couple of decades ago. So,
I I will say, Greg, there was a my wife sitting right next to me at the end of that match. She was just like, Rhea, get on the bike.
thank you.
Like She's like, get on the bike. It looks and like my wife never been on a motorcycle, never like not her bag, whatever. She was like, get on the bike. It's cool. Like that was it.
It was
Uh,
really cool.
and Jason and Josh know my wife. Like she's pretty honest. So when she's like when she thinks something's gonna be cool, I'm willing to take her up on that. Yeah, the Undertaker stuff was odd at the end, but whatever. It was post match celebration. We move on. The next big thing we got was well, and I actually think this preceded the women's title match. I may be getting my chronology wrong here, but John Cena came out and we got a little bit of a promo before he announced. He's like, guys, we're going to have a lot of fun this year, but yeah, I just don't think a 17th title is in the works. And I think that was the exact moment when I texted Josh and Jason and was like, it's totally happening. In wrestling, whenever someone says, this will never happen, it's going to happen. And then he's like, well, it'd be impossible. Like you'd have to win the Money in the Bank or win the Elimination Chamber. And then he looks at the camera and he's like, win the Royal Rumble? And I'm like, okay, John, you are high on your own supply right now, man. You are feeling it. And John, my quick take on this is John Cena's promo was my favorite part of, it was the thing that I feel like got like nailed the most, that maybe was like the most perfect thing on the show. And that may sound crazy because I don't know. I'm a sucker for a Cena promo. I understand it. I know where it's going. And it was one of the only things on the show that actually had that like, oh, well, now you can look forward to what Cena's gonna do. It wasn't one of those isolated moments where it was just held to that night. But Jason, what'd you think of the Cena promo? And now that he's confirmed to be in the Royal Rumble, and Jason, he said he's going to win the Royal Rumble.
And I think he's going to win it too.
Okay.
But I've never been the biggest John Cena guy, but I love this promo because it gave you something to look forward to, as opposed to the Rock's promo where he tore everything down we thought we were looking forward to.
He told you what not to look forward to.
Yes. Rock said, hey, I'm out of here. I got my tequila, I've got Moana, I've got whatever. John Cena said, hey, I'm going to be here. This is a lot like AEW did with Sting. They kind of said, hey, 6-9 months from now, I'm going to retire. But
Yeah.
let's have fun while I do it.
True.
Whereas so many of these other guys in wrestling, they retire seemingly every other year or every 6 months. Then they come back for one more Ric Flair. This Cena thing feels like the way AEW got everything right with Sting that WWE got wrong. And I think WWE is going to get everything right with John Cena.
Yeah.
That they haven't done before with so many other guys. You threw Goldberg out there, another match, and I don't want any part of it. But I can get behind this Cena run as actually being something WWE will put a lot of thought into and make right decisions. So
Yeah.
this promo impressed me.
Yeah. I think because it had bits of that classic Cena that, Josh and I grew up with. Josh and I are from this era of Cena being the GOAT. Like he's the GOAT of our early years of wrestling. And as a fan, I'm like, well, shit, I'm in. And Josh, what did you think of Cena and his promo and kind of the promise of this new year, his last year?
Yeah, I mean I enjoyed the promo a lot for the same reasons you guys did. I'll make a snarky comment. I don't know why John Cena continues to have the ugliest fucking merch ever. Like somebody needs to fix his stuff. That giant door on the back of his shirt is not good.
Yeah, it's
So
not my
I'm a
favorite.
hater. Sorry, John, if you ever listen to this, which you won't. But like,
That may be
come
the
on.
biggest hot take of the episode that someday John Cena will listen to this.
Oh, I already sent it to him.
Oh, okay. Well,
Uh,
good.
Yeah.
Wait,
But
we
no,
do have
I
a
think.
guest in the waiting room. Oh shit.
Oh, there he is. It's John Cena.
He actually says he's Juan Cena. He might be an imposter.
I can't see
See
many
you,
ways.
John Cena. Yeah, I'm excited for it. I look forward to them. I mean, John Cena really, I feel like without John Cena, WWE wouldn't be what it is today. He's done so much for the company that to kind of let him do a fun little run at the end only seems right, and fans are down with it,
Yeah,
which I think will be fun. I hope that it's not too predictable. Like I made a joke about like, oh, Cena's not going to win the Rumble. He probably will. But I hope everything they do isn't just like John Cena just, you know,
like
takes all the stuff. Like I hope they swerve us a couple times or
yeah, yeah,
something.
yeah. Like he's going
Um,
like we don't want him to you don't want him to just speed run 2025 and be like, well, I won the title, now I'm vacating it because I'm done. It's like you want there to be some intrigue, some actual
yeah,
storytelling there. Okay.
yeah. Make it fun.
Yeah.
Make make Cena look vulnerable and like make it look like it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Do all the things. But I
Greg,
think
how
yeah, Cena enters Rumble at number 30.
oh,
Uh,
well,
is probably that
that
would be my quick hot take.
Josh, I don't know if you know this, but number 30 is the best spot to join the Rumble because you have to take out the least guys there. That I mean, it's science.
Oh, weird.
I
I didn't
did
know
some
that.
research, and that's a
Good.
science.
You did some math. Well
Yeah, I did some
done.
math. No, I don't mean to brag, but I did some math. But Greg, how are you feeling about the leader of the C Nation jumping into his last year? And can you see John Cena being world champion, winning the Royal Rumble? What do you predict about Cena in this year?
I think everything you guys have said is accurate. And I do hope that they'll utilize him, like Josh is saying. This is probably one of the promos that didn't hit for me as
Oh,
much
okay.
as y'all, and that's no, and this is clearly just because of my background. It's not anything against John Cena, but it is John Cena's reign in WWE was a time when I was out of wrestling,
Oh, okay.
and so
Makes
like
sense.
I get the Undertaker, promo more for me, or the old school guys where I was growing up, because I do think I'm more closer to Jason's age there, a little bit of like the old school like that, those wrestlers. But so I just miss John Cena. So like him coming back and having this, grandioso final farewell tour doesn't mean as much for me because he's
Yeah.
probably the least watch wrestler for me of all of these people that were showing up. And so
Okay.
again, that's the only reason they didn't hit. It's not like
No, no, that makes
I don't
perfect
have
sense.
any hate against him. I do agree with the merch is really not good at all. I don't, even if I was a
It
Dodger
is so
fan, like having the
bad.
Los Angeles Dodgers
Whoa.
team
This
colors,
is
I'd be like, I don't need that. I'm
not
good.
a shirt Jason's gonna pick up in a few weeks. Oh, but watch. Next time I see Jason, he'll be like, "Hey, check out this sick John Cena merch I've got."
With the
Like,
big
Jason,
C.
take that off.
No, thank you. No, ma'am.
That's a no for me, Ryan. Greg, quick hitter for Cena, and then we'll kind of speed run a little bit of the rest. What's one match you want to see Cena have this year? One opponent that you want to see him face off against? Greg, hit me with it.
uh, uh I'll go with good. You hit me with Logan Paul. I'll do Logan Paul.
You know what? I'm here for it.
I think you put the older guys with some of the guys who can work. I Logan Paul. So make them look good.
Jason, Cena match you want to see this year?
Well, Cena does owe Logan Paul a receipt, but if I'm gonna pick one match I want to see, Cena is the kind of golden boy of that era.
Yeah,
If we could get a Cody heel turn sometime, some way, you put Cena against Cody, that's some money to me. I don't know if they're gonna pull the trigger on that, but that's where
yeah.
I'd book it.
Okay. J Patty.
Gunther, the ring general, or however
Oh
the fuck he
man.
does his thing.
I mean, you don't have,
Yeah,
hey, Josh, you don't have to tell anybody who Gunther is. He was all over this show. They promoted him heavily. He was treated like a world
had a
champion on this
huge
show.
match.
Uh,
Aren't Gunther
He
and
got
John Cena
60
the same
seconds at
person?
least.
had a 30-second promo.
They look the exact
I
same.
It's the same main event match with a main event superstar, a 30-second promo right before a Gabriel Iglesias bit. It's same. I think my match I want to see is I mean I would love for him to hook it up with Roman. But I wanted that when Roman was a heel. I think the match I want to see, and this may sound really dumb, I want to see him and Randy one more time. Like I want them to old man beat the shit out of each other. Like for respect, for old time's sake. Like I want it to be like an old school New Japan, like I don't know, like just an old Yuji Nagata match where they just dredge up another 75-year-old wrestler and they beat the shit out of each other for like 10 minutes. I don't care if it's on a Raw. I don't care if it's on a B-list pay-per-view. I want to see him and Randy one more time. And that's because those guys and Punk are really the guys that defined my like they were the young superstars when I started watching wrestling. So I like yeah, I would also like to see Cena and Punk one more time. That'd be awesome because those guys have legitimately put on amazing matches together. So let's go into our next match. It's Jey Uso getting a roll up pin win against God. I'm gonna start calling him Nothing Happening Drew McIntyre. And I thought that nickname was only designated for Kyle O'Reilly, but I think Kyle O'Reilly's got more going for him right now because every time Drew gets something cool to do, he ends up losing. Drew loses sub 10 minutes. And Jason, I just want to know, like, quick thoughts about this match. Oh, and maybe the entrance with Travis Scott getting friggin' high out of his mind on the way. Oh, and we've lost Jason. We're gonna get our tech people on that. See if we can get Jason back on the program. Josh, you're a fan of marijuana. Did you enjoy this match? I'm kidding. What did you think of this match, Josh?
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was like I don't know. Jay's entrance cracked me up
Yeah.
because I did not expect to see Travis Scott smoking a fatty, like straight up, like not subtle. I was
No,
like,
he
what
came out,
is?
took a long drag off of it, and then just
Yeah,
let
and
it
kept
hang
hitting
there.
it. And then the post-match stuff where Jay was talking about it was hilarious.
Tell listeners a little bit about what happened in the post match or post show.
Yeah, so they're like I don't remember who all is on it, but it's like Big E and then like two other commentators and they're like interview the wrestlers and stuff. And Jay's back there and they're like, "Dude, I thought you weren't going to be able to wrestle because like you're inhaling all that smoke." And he was like, "No, I couldn't, he wasn't going to let me inhale it. I had work to do." And he was like, "But yeet." But later, yeah, and he's talking about like blowing it and like there were kids around and stuff and he's just yeah. So smoking Jays and drinking and driving are the two new. We're back in the Attitude
Oh,
Era for
yes, yes.
WWE.
And it's just nice to know that Jay finally found a manager in Travis Scott. I hope
Yeah,
he can.
right.
I
Jeez.
really hope that being next to Jay Uso can make Travis Scott a big star.
Yeah.
So
But I mean, the match itself was fun. I
yeah,
didn't not huge on the ending. Um, it was kind of a cheeky, fast ending, like you probably already alluded to,
yeah.
and kind of screwed Drew over. Um, I'm just hopeful that maybe this, Drew is going to get his moment again. And I think they will keep building to that. But I also think Drew's proving to be a company guy, where he's going to do what he's asked to do, and hopefully he's rewarded for it. But
Well,
I'm
I
a
mean,
big Jey Uso fan, so I loved all the silliness, but the
yeah.
ending was kind of to me.
And later on in the show, Josh, Drew did get his prize. He got a 5 second hug from The Rock before he left the building. So I think we all ended the night winners. Greg, what did you think about Jay and Drew? And were you contact high on this match or
Uh,
not?
I wasn't, but Pat McAfee and Michael Cole were because they were getting into it,
Oh my God,
and it was quite
Michael
a.
Cole looked like an idiot.
I loved it though. Like embrace
Oh,
it. Like just have like what are you
yeah,
gonna do in that moment? I do think because who was it? Sami Zayn and Drew was at the Saturday main event, right?
Yep.
Yes.
And so it was one of those kind of things where it was very much that ending kind of paid tribute to how Drew won that match a little bit of kind of like faking out and Sammy got caught. And so I thought it was just kind of, I liked the ending kind of a little bit from the storytelling aspect of like building off of something that we, got going. So I enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun match all around because I'm a
Yeah.
big Jey Uso fan too.
Jason, smoke a fatty on this match.
Ugh, dude,
Oh
I
no.
love I love Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
I feel
Me
so
too,
bad
man.
for him because he was given the ball when COVID times, and
He was giving the ball when
I
it
think
didn't
he could give him
matter.
I think you could give him the ball again, but they're turning him into Baron Corbin. He's he's a guy that they put in big spots and he gets clowned constantly. I think he's better than that. I know Jay is kind of their street popular, what's going on in the world right now type of guy, but Drew should Drew should wipe the floor with Jey Uso. I don't know. I
Yeah,
just
no, I agree. I wanted Drew
I
to win
want
this
more from
match
Drew
too.
McIntyre. Yeah,
And I think Jay is so popular, like you just alluded to. He's so popular that he's kind of bulletproof. Like,
exactly. Like he
so
doesn't need wins. Drew
yeah,
needs wins because he's looking like a clown.
yeah. And it's getting to where like every time Drew talks tough, I'm just like, yeah, dude, but
Yeah, but
you're gonna lose. Like,
yeah.
so a heel with no teeth is just a guy flapping his gums. Um,
Hmm.
After that, we did get probably one of the strongest promos of Hulk Hogan's life. We talked about some beer. We talked about Rand.
Boo,
We talked about
boo.
Macho. We talked about
I'm the crowd.
Andre. I'll tell you
Boo.
what, it did not go over well in Los Angeles.
Boo.
That was very clear.
I was surprised Los Angeles is not that big of a Jimmy Hart fan. So
Yeah,
like,
really, it felt like it wasn't about Hulk. It was about Jimmy. Jimmy Hart came out, said nothing, and got all the heat. So, I mean, do we want to rapid fire the Hulk Hogan little segment? It was less than a minute or so. It was,
I'll say this:
I didn't love it, but
they they weren't saying boo. They were saying Hogan.
I
It was like the that old Simpsons gag where they weren't booing; they were saying boo earns.
Boo
Um,
Earns.
and then you got Hogan, Hogan imposters come out and saying, "I can't believe LA hates Jimmy Hart this much because they wouldn't possibly boo Hulk Hogan." Yeah,
I
you
did
got to know
like
your
the
crowd.
Pat McAfee thing you said. That was funny.
Yeah, that was great. You don't send Hogan out in California.
God, it's like, dude.
Not your demographic.
Well, and like use him in a video package because you could just kind of tell he got rattled pretty quick, and then
Hmm.
he dug deep in the bag. He's like, well, one of my best partners ever was Randy the Macho Man Savage. It was like, okay, dude, um, you're gonna get Randy Savage booed. You're gonna get Andre booed because right now. I don't think anything's gonna save you. It reminded me of the 2015 Royal Rumble where Roman goes out there, wins, and they throw the Rock out there and they booed the Rock. Like it's just like, no, you're standing next to the guy, so you get booed. Josh, I know you led this segment with a boo. So do you have anything else you want to say about Hogan and his little segment here before
I
we
mean,
get to the main event?
I even just thought it was painful to watch. Like just from the standpoint of like Hulk Hogan looked bad. Like he looked like he couldn't walk. When he like tore his shirt, it like wrapped around his waist. So when he
Yeah,
walked
yeah.
backstage, he like waddled with like a dress around his ankles. Like it just looked uncomfortable. Like I mean, Hulk Hogan, he's not young. And so like it felt that aspect of it too also made me uncomfortable. I was like, ugh, he doesn't look like he should be on camera. He looks like he's struggling to be there currently.
Yeah.
And then people booed him for, I don't know. We all know why.
We all
But
know why. Um, Greg, what did you think about the Hogan segment?
everything that you all said, it was cringy. It was sad. Like my wife looked him over at me at one point and was like, he's not even gonna be able to make it to the ring, is he? And I was like, Yeah, I was like, no, like, because like he looked like he was hobbling out to even the front, and it was just
Yeah.
like
It was rough.
it was tough. It was tough.
So I think one thing is here, like, take, we all know, take the politics of Terry Bollea out of it. Take the current events, take, the non-screen stuff. Just as a wrestling promo, it was rough. Like, like if another legend had done that promo, I mean, it probably wouldn't have gotten booed, but we wouldn't be talking like, oh yeah, that was kind of rough. So but then they did a Saturday Night's Main Event video package, and I thought he did well in that, like. Because it was just like a talking head thing about, you're gonna watch Saturday Night's Main Event on NBC, brother. It's like, okay, that's fine. Like, I don't hate that. Um, Let's talk about the main event, guys. This was the much anticipated CM Punk Seth Rollins one-on-one match. It was the first time that Punk had a one-on-one match or had a match on Raw in 13 years, 13, 14 years. That is insane. And they led into this match with a fire promo last week on Raw. And let's just talk about it because the match was what it was, and I just want to know what you guys thought about the match. Josh, what did you think about the match between Punk and Rollins that capped off the debut on Netflix?
I really enjoyed the match. I thought it
I
lived
am
up
really in
to.
love.
I mixed up words.
Valentine's Day is
I
next month, Josh. We can talk about that
Oh
next
yeah, the
month.
Rumble. Yeah, get shot by
Josh
Cupid.
loves lamp.
I
Rick, are you looking around the room? Just
Josh,
there's
where'd you
a
even get a trident?
I
loud
don't know.
noises. Oh man.
um
Sorry, Josh. What'd you
yeah,
think?
they're good. I thought the match itself was a lot of fun. I enjoyed some of the back and forth, with the officials. I love the storytelling from Rollins where like a lot of what screwed him over was him allowing his emotions to get the best of him. Um they did. I don't know if you guys saw it. I sent you in the group chat earlier. That like where Punk hit the first GTS and then Rollins kind of bounced off the rope and
Yeah.
fell back on. That
Yes.
was apparently a repeat from an AEW match with Moxley, which I didn't know. I feel like Jason, you probably knew that. But that was kind of a
It
fun
was almost
thing
shot
to
for
throw in
shot.
there.
Like, it
Yeah,
was insane.
it was pretty very, very, very similar. I loved that they stole each other's finishers. Like Rollins hit a few GTSs, Punk hit a stomp, these kind of things. I don't know. It was a fun match. I didn't during the match I didn't really know who I wanted to win. Even going into it, I didn't. But then when Punk won, I was sad and I was like, oh, I must have wanted Rollins to win. Um, but it was fun. Like I'm not taking anything away from
Yeah.
Punk. I like both of them. I will watch both of them beat the shit out of each other over and over again. So I look forward to what continues out of this because Punk's already, running his mouth and talking about kicking his ass once again. So
I mean, that
bring it
post
on.
match promo that Punk cut on the post show segment stuff was really good. He's like, basically,
Yeah,
I'm coming after everybody.
yeah.
Um, Greg, what did you think of the main event, and were you satisfied with the final match of the debut on Netflix?
I was satisfied with the match itself. I thought it was a good match. I thought it was, you know, like what Josh said about using each other's finishers. The ending, it was fun. Hitting the go to sleep twice there to kind of cap off the match. I'm a Seth guy, so like my heart's gonna
That's
be there with
right, you
Seth.
are, because you're a smart
So
man.
like, despite that he's from Iowa, because nothing good's from there, but um, uh,
Shots fired.
Greg is ready to go to war on this.
but
Oh
no, I
wow,
mean it was.
okay.
I thought it was good, but I've always been a Seth. I thought he's embraced this kind of what he does with entrances, what he does with his costume. Like he makes wrestling fun for me. Like when I'm watching it, and then he can sell it too, and
Yeah.
that's and like so like when you put someone, like Punk against someone who still is, like in the prime of like a Rollins, like that, it works for me. So
Yeah. And real quick, Jason, I know I really want your thoughts on this main event because I know you did have some thoughts in our group chat last night, but we're about to lose J Patty. And I wanna just ask Jay Patty one thing. What was your favorite thing from wrestling this last month? A match, a segment? What was your favorite thing, Josh, before you sign off here and bid the listeners goodbye?
Yeah, I don't know. I wrote down two different men's matches that I really enjoyed and two different women's matches that I enjoyed.
Hit me.
So I will share those and then also one thing that I thought was funny. So I really enjoyed the Punk Rollins match last night.
Okay.
I really enjoyed the Cody Rhodes and KO match
From Saturday
um
Night's main event.
from Saturday Night Main Event.
Okay.
Yeah. And then
Awesome.
the women's matches I really enjoyed also came from Raw and the Saturday Night Main Event. I thought the Liv and Io match was wonderful. It was a lot of fun. And then I really enjoyed the Liv and Rhea match
Yeah.
a
Awesome.
lot. There was a lot of fun in there. And then it wasn't televised, but Punk did a bit where he ran to the ring in a towel and got into a steel cage to
To
like
save
defend
Priest.
somebody. Yeah, to save Priest, right. And that is hilarious. And I wanted to throw that out there because
You
that
need
is
to you need to send me that because I
solid.
have not seen that.
Okay, I'll find
Oh,
it
that
for
was
you.
good.
Okay.
Yeah,
In a
gentlemen,
cage.
Greg, it was nice meeting you.
Ditto.
Friends, have a great rest of your night. I have to
Deuce,
split because I'm a loser. Sorry.
deuces, deuces. Uh,
Peace, guys.
Jason, what did you think of the main event, Rollins and Punk? Jason, what did you think of the main event between Punk and Rollins?
I love the match.
Okay.
It was hard hitting. I love the way they both told the ref, like, stay out of this. We got to settle shit.
This is
But
personal.
what I didn't like was the psychology of the match. You've got CM Punk is the kind of the old man Logan,
Yeah,
and then
yeah, fair.
you have Seth Rollins, who is he's been around, but he's the younger guy. So you have Seth hitting CM Punk with two go to sleeps, covers, doesn't get the pinfall. A pedigree on the announcer's table, rolls him back in, pedigree in the ring, covers, doesn't get the pinfall. Then he hits the buckle bomb and a stomp,
Yep.
and Punk gets the foot on the ropes.
Yeah.
Then you have the spot that Josh talks about, and I knew I had seen that spot somewhere, but I didn't recall it until Josh sent it today. The Moxley from All Out,
Yeah, yeah.
and I was like, "Oh shit!" Punk hits two go to sleeps, basically like pulling it out of nowhere, like he's on his last leg, hits him and covers Rollins, and I just thought it does a real disservice to your younger, more fit
Tentpole guy.
pro. Yes, that Punk hits him with two moves and gets the pin, and he had eaten six moves.
Yeah. Six finishers. Like,
Exactly. I would have, if the psychology bothered me. If
okay.
you flip that around and you do it the other way, and Punk hits Rollins with six things to two, and he gets the pin, I'm okay with it. I
Okay.
don't think this. I don't think this is the end of it,
Yeah.
but that that bothered me.
Yeah.
The way Punk's Punk bothers me. The way he left AEW, the Drew McIntyre feud. It's all felt very forced. Like they're shoving him down your throat, joining the team for the War Games match. Um, it all seems square peg round hole.
Okay.
So
That's fair.
it's just it bothers me. Um, I'm always open to see where they go with it,
Yeah.
but I need something to pay off pretty soon
And we're
because
yeah.
doing a disservice to the future guys with this old man Logan.
Yeah. I mean, and there's definitely a way to tell an old man Logan type story without sacrificing a lot of people along the way because I think that the final match in the Punk Drew trilogy was great. That Hell in a Cell match was awesome. Pro-
Excellent
easily a top five WWE match.
match
Just
of the year.
yeah.
Yep.
So Guys, let's we've left Raw on Netflix in the dust. So just real quickly, some things we got coming up to look forward to. AEW is doing Maximum Carnage, where they will bring in Spider-Man and Venom to face off Carnage in the streets of New York. Hold on. Shit. No, that's not right. Moxley is doing a title match in Cincinnati. That'll be fun. And after this Wednesday's Dynamite, we'll know who is going to be in that match. So I'm looking forward to that. I've already got it on my calendar. I'm going to be watching Maximum Carnage that Wednesday on Max. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And then, of course, with WWE, all full steam ahead to the Royal Rumble, guys. Real quick, anything about those bigger shows to look forward to, things you're hoping for, Greg? Maximum Carnage, Royal Rumble, how you feeling?
I mean, I'm excited to see who Moxley is going to go up against Maximum Carnage, and kind of so my excitement level is going to be a little bit till
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
The Rumble is always one of my favorite things to do. Like and who's coming out, who's popping out, who's coming back to WWE, things like that. So like that's always an exciting show for me. So I'm in. I just hope Cena doesn't win at all.
Okay, okay. Not necessarily a thing that you want to happen, but a thing you would be okay with it not happening.
Yeah,
Um,
I think I just feel like it'd be too quick. It'd
yeah,
be too quick, too forced. That is going to happen. So that's why I don't want
fair,
it to happen.
fair
I
enough.
want him to build up the storyline.
Jason, how do we feel about Maximum Carnage, kind of a dynamite super show, and then the big, I mean, probably next to WrestleMania, the best pay-per-view, Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I love Rumbles. I love the nostalgia, bringing back guys, the guest spots. But I will tell you both. I know Greg's kind of trying to get into AEW. Tomorrow night, as we record this, is the Casino Gauntlet for whoever wins gets to face Mox. And it's kind of, I love this premise. It's a new match that Tony Khan invented. It's basically a reverse Royal Rumble. You want to be the first guy in 30th entrant because guys enter every 2 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever. It's an undisclosed amount of time, but first pinfall wins the match.
Yeah.
So you want to be one or two because you have 2 minutes to end this match, and then you get that shot at Moxley. We had a big angle shot with, I know Greg brought up Jeff Jarrett, and I'm not a Jarrett fan. I've never been a Jarrett fan, but the AEW fans have kind of latched onto him in this whole. He cut a big promo with Owen Hart, what Owen Hart meant to him in the
Great promo.
Owen Cup.
Yep.
Yep. And it all led to a feud with Hangman, a little mini feud, and Hangman beat the shit out of him. And I really feel like
Legit.
if I had to pick a guy tomorrow that I would put to win this Casino Gauntlet, I would pick Jeff Jarrett, because you throw Jeff Jarrett in there with Mox and you let Mox just beat the shit out of this guy, he will sell for him and he will get sympathy, and that's the way you write a Jeff Jarrett off. But these Casino Gauntlets are a lot of fun. You don't know. It doesn't go to 30 guys. It goes till it's over. And you have stories you can tell out of that. The last time they had one of these, Roderick Strong came out and challenged the guy and said, "You finished this match, but I was supposed to be the next guy in. You ruined my opportunity."
Yeah.
I love stuff like you
Yeah.
don't know. There's it's a casino thing, so there's 21 guys, but it's only ever gotten to like guy. I think at the All In it got to 13.
Okay.
It never gets all the way out because the match can end at any time. So it's a unique concept. I really like it. That'll be on Dynamite tomorrow as we record this.
Yeah. So guys, real quick, what was your favorite match or segment from this last month? Greg, did you have a favorite thing from Survivor Series on that you just real feel like it needs an extra oomph here at the end of the episode?
I do. And maybe it's fitting that Josh isn't here because it's an AEW match.
I think we're all gonna have an AEW thing. So yeah,
Three AEW matches.
Listen, the 4-way match between Dante, Brian Cage, the Beast, and Commander, I thought was fantastic.
Okay.
The $100,000 match.
Yes. and because I think I'm sold on Commander. What Commander he made every single other person look good, and that's exactly what Jason told me when he's like, "Oh, you're gonna get to see Commander live. This is what he does." Like what the moves he hit on the Beast Mortal, like jumping off the ropes, flipping over him, and then like doing a somersault, throwing the Beast across the ring. It just I can sit there and watch him wrestle all the time. And I thought it was a fun dynamic. You had kind of two high flyers a little bit with Dante
Yeah.
and Commander, and then you had your kind of big beefy dudes
And then your
with
two power guys.
yeah.
Yeah.
And man, I love that they call him the announcer was like, "Oh, we got Swolverine here," and I was like, "He does look like Wolverine jacked up." I was like, "I kind of dig it." And
So a little interesting Brian Cage nugget. Jason and I saw him live in Sioux Falls right after Deadpool and Wolverine came out,
yeah,
and he came out in a Wolverine like attire, and Dustin Rhodes came out in a Deadpool inspired outfit. So it was pretty badass. As a comic book fan and a wrestling fan,
yeah,
which I think like 99% of the audience was, it was just kind of fun to see him embrace the Swolverine.
yeah.
Jason, what was your favorite match or segment from this last month?
I know you said you've got a match from World's End. I have a match from the Continental Classic tournament
Yeah.
that led up to that on Dynamite. I have the Darby Allin versus Will Ospreay match from
Okay.
the December 18th Dynamite. Uh, this was classic Darby Allin. This was Greg. The stuff I tell you. Darby Allin tries a coffin drop early in this match towards the outside. Will Ospreay rolls off the apron. Darby Allin bumps on the edge of the apron, the hardest part of the ring. You had later in the match, Will Ospreay catches Darby Allin on the outside, and he hits a Styles Clash from the outside of the apron to the floor.
Son of a bitch.
They had a great sequence where they were reversing each other's finishers. Darby reverses a Stormbreaker into a Code Red, pops up. He misses the elbow that Ospreay throws, and Darby catches him. And then Darby reverses a second Stormbreaker into a Scorpion Death Drop, hits a coffin drop onto Osprey's back, goes back to the top, hits another coffin drop onto a prone Will Ospreay, and gets the win to get 2 points or 3 points in the Continental Classic. The thing I love most about Will Ospreay, he's probably the best wrestler in the world right now.
Agreed.
Personal opinions aside, I love Konosuke Takeshita. I think you could say Takeshita is the best wrestler in the world, but I feel like Ospreay goes into almost every show and says, it's kind of that Tommy Dreamer back in ECW. He's like, I want to lose. Let me lose to this guy. I'll put him over,
Yeah.
and I'll walk out of this and I'll look better for losing than if I win.
I'll look like a warrior. Like,
Yes. Let me go out on my shield.
which actually leads to my favorite match of the last month.
Yes, I figured.
I have loved what Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher have done. Both matches, absolute standouts. I think Kyle Fletcher has a mega bright future. I love that they're calling him the proto star. He's a star of the future. But Ospreay and Okada is like comfort food. Like I thought it was awesome. Mostly because when I saw Ospreay come out for that match, he's got the head wrap. He's still like the dried blood on his face. I was like, oh, motherfucker's a gamer. Like, and they were just beating the shit out of each other. And I loved that Okada he worked Ospreay's head with the DDTs, with the kicks, with the rakes, getting the bandages off. He threw the bandages away. He wrapped the tape around his arm. This was peak douchey Okada. And like he did the close up and then the sudden wide angle middle finger. I love that. I love that shit. My favorite. So towards the end of the match, they rapid fired all their like finishers, the reversals, the off the ropes, Stormbreaker flips and all that kind of stuff. But my favorite spot in the match was actually Okada had hit a series of like just kicks to the head, Osprey had kind of fired up a little bit, but then Okada has Osprey in position for the Rainmaker, and he releases him, and Osprey reverses it into a Spanish fly for a pin attempt. And I was just like, I don't know why that moment stood out to me. I was like, yeah, no, these guys are still like what they were. And I know there was a little bit of like, okay, is Okada like, it's kind of been okay. But to me, Okada and Osprey was my favorite match of this last year because, this last month, because I loved Okada in New Japan when I was watching that, back when that was a little bit more in vogue. And I have thoroughly enjoyed, like Jason knows this, I have thoroughly enjoyed everything Osprey has done. Like Osprey took to American TV like a fish to water. And he is in ring and I think out of the ring now. I think he is a professional wrestler's professional wrestler. Like and now he's doing it on American TV. I can't speak any higher of Will Ospreay. He could walk into WWE tomorrow and be a main eventer. Like, I don't think it's a thing of like, oh, well, yeah, he's a big fish in a little pond. I think he could be a big fish in any fucking pond you put him in. So yeah, really high on that match. But Jason, this is easily our longest episode of wrestling we've ever talked about. So anything
And I
else?
for one, no, I think we're good, but I for one love it. I would say this Continental Classic, if you wanted to talk about a couple guys that were MVPs that maybe didn't advance. Mark Briscoe had a hell of a tournament. Daniel Garcia had a hell of a tournament. And then a personal favorite of mine, Brody King, had a hell of a tournament. I want to see Brody King with a title belt in 2025. I want to see him doing open challenges and just wrecking fools.
And
House of Black or not.
The belt you want him with is the WWE Speed belt. Because that thing needs to be
bring back the 24/7.
I'm kidding. Greg, please
let's go.
Please plug all the things you do on the internet so that people can check out the amazing content you're putting out there.
Man, I talk about comics a lot, and that's my main thing. Bearded Comic Bro everywhere on the internet. YouTube is my main focus. I do a lot of comic creator interviews there. And I've got a lot lined up of this like nonstop. So every week, every Monday, 8 new episodes of interviews with comic creators from DC, Marvel, indie, Kickstarters, all across the board. Just do it all. But then I do a lot more engagement with like posting about wrestling and comic books I pick up and action figures and stuff on like Instagram and all that stuff. But you can also just listen to the podcast anywhere. So anywhere you want to, like, I wonder if he's here. I probably am. Just type in Bearded Comic Bro and you'll find me. I'll pop up. So
all things everywhere. We will link some of those things here in the episode description, Greg, because we love what you do and you do it well. You're easy to listen to, and man, you get some big fish in the Bearded Comic Bro pond, and plus you're kind of Swerve Strickland's best friend. So
we're buddies now. Like, it's basically the real house, like the real world, like with us now.
Everybody, thank you so much for checking out this January edition of our wrestling bonus chat here. We are going to be back next time after the Royal Rumble. We're going to talk about the Royal Rumble. We're going to talk about Maximum Carnage. We're going to talk about, there's another Saturday Night's Main Event, Jason. There's so much to talk about. Wrestling is 24/7 and it never stops. So we will see you then. Adios. Bye. Orale.
Just enjoy wrestling.
Oh, shit. Yes, just enjoy wrestling.
I got it in.
I'm so sorry. That's your dick, man.
I got it in.
Oh, man. I love it.